The Tithe of the Sunken Parish. My name is Dr. Alistair Finch. I am or was a folklorist from Cambridge, specializing in the oral traditions of drowned towns. For me, legends are not ghost stories. They are distorted historical records, echoes of trauma trapped in the amber of myth. I came to Colibita not as a tourist, but as a dissector of stories. The tale of the submerged church and the lake that claims its tribute was professionally irresistible. I was arrogant. I believed I could catalog its secrets and leave with a neat, academic paper. I know now that some places are not archives to be studied. They are wounds, and they can infect you. I hired a local man named Soren to take me out on the lake. He was a gnarled, nervous man whose feet doubled the moment I mentioned I wanted to go out at night. Specifically over the coordinates of the old church. The water sleeps badly there. Domnule doctor, he'd warned, his eyes darting towards the black, glassy surface. It dreams of what it took. I dismissed his fears, setting up my equipment in his rickety boat, a high-frequency hydrophone, an underwater camera on a long tether, and a powerful sonar. As we motored out, the sun bled out behind the Kalimani peaks, and an unnatural quiet descended. It was the same oppressive silence from the original legend, the silencing of crickets, the cessation of all natural sound, as if the world itself was holding its breath in terror. There, Soren whispered, cutting the engine. This is the place. The sonar screen painted a ghostly image of the depths, 90 meters below, the jagged outlines of ruined houses and, unmistakably, a steeple. I lowered the hydrophone into the ink-black water. At first, there was nothing but the hum of my own equipment. Then, a sound trickled through the headphones, a sound that made the blood in my veins turn to ice. It wasn't the faint, mournful bell from the stories. It was the wheezing groan of a waterlogged pipe organ playing a discordant hymn. Underneath it, a voice, a muffled, gurgling chant in an archaic Romanian dialect. A priest delivering a sermon to a congregation of the drowned. My academic curiosity battled with a primal urge to flee. Curiosity won. I lowered the camera. The video feed showed a slow, murky descent. Then, shapes emerged from the gloom. The stone arch of a church entrance, coated in a century of silt and algae. The camera drifted through it, into the nave. The pews were still there, skeletal wooden frames from which long, pale weeds grew like grasping fingers, and then I saw them. Seated in the pews were figures, pale, bloated, and horribly preserved in the cold, anaerobic depths. Their eyes were wide, milky white orbs, their mouths open in silent screams. They were the tribute, the dozens of people the lake had claimed over the decades, all gathered here as the eternal congregation. Soren saw the look on my face. "We go now," he hissed, his hand fumbling for the engine's pull cord. But it was too late. That's when we saw her, standing on the distant shore, exactly as the legend described. A woman in a long, white garment. "It's just a local," I stammered, my voice trembling, trying to rationalize it. But my professional-grade binoculars told a different story. As I focused, my breath hitched in my throat. Her face was not obscured by distance or darkness. It was a smooth, featureless mask of pale skin, with no eyes, no nose, no mouth. And her dress, it wasn't cloth. It was a shimmering, wet, amniotic membrane that clung to her form, pulsing faintly. A low, grinding sound, like stone on bone, echoed across the water. It wasn't coming from the depths. It was coming from her. The membrane of her dress rippled violently. Something dark and heavy detached from beneath it and slipped silently into the water with a soft plop. A moment later, a new figure appeared on my camera feed, drifting down into the submerged church. It was a man in modern hiking clothes, his face a mask of terror, his lungs full of water instead of air. He settled into an empty space in a pew, becoming the newest member of the parish. The thing on the shore turned its blank face towards us. The reflection in the water was perfect, a mirror image. But then the reflection smiled. A wide, predatory grin filled with needle-like teeth opened in the watery image, even as the real entity remained featureless. The reflection's hand, skeletal and black, rose from the lake and beckoned to us. From the actual being on the shore, a new feature appeared, A perfectly circular hole opened in the center of its face. From it, a sound erupted, not a bell, but a deafening, soul-splintering clang that vibrated through the boat's hull and into my bones. Soren screamed, a raw animal sound of pure terror. He scrambled back, tripped over a fuel can, and fell overboard into the black water. He surfaced once, choking, his hands clawing at the air, but something pulled him down. I saw a flash of pale limbs and long dark hair swirling around him before he vanished, leaving only expanding ripples on the surface. I didn't wait. I ripped the cord, and the engine roared to life. I fled, not daring to look back, the sound of that impossible bell chasing me all the way to the shore. I have been back in my sterile London flat for 6 months. I tell myself it was a hallucination, a waking nightmare brought on by suggestion and the high ozone air. I have burned my notes. But the curse did not stay at the lake. It followed me. It began subtly. The tap water in my flat tastes of mud and decay. I hear a faint wet dripping in the walls even in a dead quiet room. Sometimes when I pass a puddle on the street, I see a face looking up at me from its shallow depth, a face with wide white eyes. Last night was the worst. I was running a bath, the steam fogging the mirror. As the water filled the tub, I heard it again. Through the rush of the pipes, the gurgling chant of the sunken priest. I stared into the bath water, and for a second, the porcelain white of the tub seemed to become the silt-covered floor of a church. I saw a hand, pale and bloated, reach up from the drain. I recoiled, stumbling back, my heart hammering against my ribs. I know what's happening. The lake claims its tribute, but it doesn't always wait for you to come to it. Sometimes, when you look into its depths, a piece of it looks back and follows you home. It has marked me, and now every time I am near water, a bath, a shower, a glass on my nightstand, I feel it. The pull, the cold. It's waiting to collect its tithe. It's just waiting for me to get close enough.